So why don't you guys just introduce yourself? We have your new city council person here. As you know, the lines were redistricted, so we have new avenues and new help in the house. So can you guys just introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Helen Reyes-Jacome. I'm the Chief of Staff for State Senator Ruben Diaz. At the moment, the senator is at another location, but he will be here at 8:30, and it asked me to take as much information. I was here in the last town hall meeting. We have been a part of the discussion, and we're going to continue to be part of the discussion until the solution arrives.
I got hiccups. I'm going to let him go first.
Good evening, everyone. I am Assemblymember Marcos Crespo, the Assemblyman for the area and also resident at 880 Boynton Avenue. And as Helen mentioned, we have a new council member for Lafayette-Morrison. This young lady has represented the Lafayette-Boynton side of what used to be one unified complex, and it wasn't until this year under redistricting that she now covers all of our development, including Lafayette-Morrison. But she may be new to us in this building, in these buildings, but she's certainly not new to public service or to the Bronx or to the community at all. Councilmember Maria del Carmen Arroyo has been one of the strongest advocates for Bronxites that we have ever had. I mean, she's tough as nails. She's a sweetheart, but she's tough as nails when she needs to be and knows how to get the job done. And she will, from now on, if you may have seen her in the her name come up in the last elections at the polling booth. And if you were wondering where was Annabelle, again, because of redistricting, we now have a new city council member representing us, new for us, but certainly not new to this business, Council Member Maria del Carmen Arroyo.
I think he scared away my hiccups. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I want to thank my colleague for that nice introduction. Not new to the Lafayette-Morrison Estates development, and that's because previously in the City Council, before I became chair of the Committee on Health, I chaired the Committee on Aging. And in that capacity, I was able to get funding allocated to start a naturally occurring retirement community program in the Lafayette-Morrison side of this housing development. And I'm happy to say that in collaboration with Councilwoman Palma, Assemblyman Crespo, and Senator Diaz, we came together to have a conversation to identify the best senior service provider that we can bring into the community to provide the services for the NORC. And I think we made a really good decision to bring Neighborhood Shop in, and that I hope some of you are familiar with the programs that they're providing, and that you're benefiting from those programs. And for those of you who are not aware, it's intended to provide services for individuals who moved into their housing or their apartments when they were younger and have aged in place and have a whole host of different issues and concerns that, if they're not addressed properly, can lead them to be in need of higher levels of care. So I know Neighborhood Shop, through the staff here, are doing a really good job in trying to keep seniors connected to care, informed, so that they can live longer, healthier lives at home, where it costs government a lot less money. So I'm really proud to have been part of that process, and Ms. Joyce White was at the ground level of those conversations when I was able to identify the funding and then agree on where to best locate the program. So it got located outside of my district, but I didn't know that in the future I would be representing Lafayette-Morrison, but I'm happy to be here. I've been in the City Council now over 8 years. I do my job really well. I take it very seriously, and I'm happy to have partners in government that I have a good working relationship with, and with whom I've worked all kinds of different issues and concerns, and some very successfully, others not so much so, because some of it is beyond our control. But I don't see how the issues that you articulate around the concerns for the property owner here and the management company, I don't see that as unsurmountable, and working together, we can certainly have good outcomes. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that you're now part of my district, or that I now become your council member. I promise that I will not disappoint you.
I should mention that in the back, Gianna and Matthew from my office are here. We also have Jerry Lamb from State Senator Diaz's office, and from the Bronx Borough President's office, Monica Halprin, who was here at the last meeting, Marisol, who was here at the last meeting and is here for part of this one before, I believe, she may have to go, but she is here representing the Bronx Borough President's office.
We shall move forward in the discussion for tonight.
So Helen, I'm sorry, Brian Saltos from my office. Brian, wave.
Welcome. Did you guys get the agenda on your door? And there's 3 things, excellent. There's 3 things on the agenda tonight. And at the end, I have an additional one to add, which involves a date. The first thing that we're going to talk about, and you can raise your hand and I'll bring you the mic, is the continuing decrease in service at Lafayette-Morrison Estate. Do you feel that things have changed from the last time that you came to the town hall meeting? Oh, that's a weak one. Is there any particular one would like to talk about what transpires? Because what we want to make sure that the elected officials understand that there is no change from the rally to now. We have to continue the process, folks, and the process is to continue to let them hear your fears and your cries. So can we start off with anyone in the audience who would like to talk about what's going on and how they think the elected officials can benefit, can help us? As you heard them say that they are still here, and the new city council lady is willing to help us, so let's let them hear it.
While the first person comes up to the mic to make the point, and Matthew and Gianna are going to hand out a letter that I sent David Spira in his office about a week or 2 ago, which lists out a lot of what we discussed at the last town hall that continues to be unresolved. You'll notice that at the bottom of the letter, the letter was CC'd to my other colleagues in government, but also the Attorney General, because I referenced some issues that were raised to me by shareholders about the way in which the board has conducted business. And I mentioned a number of the issues that those of us that are renters have been facing in terms of quality of service, the dumpster, and some of the issues that we all know are happening. They were mentioned in the letter, and it's nothing that hasn't been expressed to them before, but it was the first time that I was putting it in writing, documenting it towards him, and sharing it with the Attorney General, DHCR, HPD, and the various agencies that need to know that we're not just here screaming to no one, that these issues need to be addressed. But look forward to hearing the comment.
Intermittent hot water, you could be in the shower, it could be warm, then it gets cold, then it gets blazing hot. There's an issue with the problem of the pipes. I don't know what it is, but I sure hope this will be addressed.
Which building?
825 Morrison.
Is it just that building or 880? So all the buildings.
I had 2 episodes where I live on the 1st floor, and I had 2 episodes where suds was coming up through my toilet out into the hallway 2 times. And I spoke with Keith. I also went into the office. So far, nothing has been done. They say it's the pipes. I don't know. But luckily, I was home both times. Now, what if I had been out? So there is a problem. through the toilet. Suds came up,
Okay.
bubbling out into my hallway.
Anyone else?
When you called that in, how long before they responded?
The first time it was 2:30 in the afternoon, and Keith came, not Keith, Derek came, and they suctioned all the stuff up. The second time was at 9:30 at night, and Derek came maybe 15 to 20 minutes later.
Okay.
Is this an isolated incident, or is this happening continually?
I've complained several times, but this has been the worst.
So how many times has it happened?
Okay, this year, maybe 3 to 4 times.
Okay. What's the address again?
820 Boynton Avenue, apartment 1C.
1C as in Charlie?
Right.
I happen to know, I don't know why anybody's not saying it, but 875 and 825 Morrison has mold in front of their building. There's also dead birds that's been sitting a couple of days in front of 875 Morrison that have not been, well, it's probably moved now, but it wasn't moved for a couple of days. I also know, I don't know why people are not complaining, but there's been several leaks in people's in their apartments, coming from one apartment to the other, and this is something that's really, really unusual because it's happening quite often. Also, we have roaches in the elevators and roaches in the hallways.
That's what I was going to complain about, the birds last week in front of the building, and I told security, and security told me that there's no maintenance after 5 o'clock. You got people coming home from work, you got kids that have to come in and out of the building. I don't understand how dead birds can just stay there all day long. And on top of that, I don't remember the last time my floor was ever mopped or swept. It has been a long time. I don't know about anybody else's floor, but I live on the 6th floor, and it haven't been mopped or swept in a long time.
Okay, try to hold the mic a little, not so close, because it comes through muffled and it's hard to understand
Okay.
what's being said.
I don't know the last time the floor, my floor, has been mopped or swept. It hasn't been mopped and swept in months. Laundry room is constantly filthy dirty. The machines are not being washed down. A lot of them don't even work. I know a lot of people are going outside to do their laundry. So there is a decline in service.
And for the last 2 years, my ceiling has been leaking. And they came, they opened up the wall. 2 months later, it was leaking again. I've been calling for the last 5 months for somebody to come and fix it. Can't get anyone. Called the office. The answer machine is on for the last 3 weeks. Can't speak to anybody. And I'm getting frustrated now. Tiles are falling off the wall. Cabinets in the kitchen are falling off. Hallway haven't been mopped or cleaned. So it's getting frustrating now.